Sabah everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to check out the OxygenOS 12 in its first release based on Android 12 on a OnePlus 9 and a 9 Pro. In today's video, we're going to talk about the things that work, the things that don't work. We're also going to touch base on basically Android 12 desktop mode, something that we haven't been able to see on Pixel devices since they don't support display out, but OnePlus devices do. So this is TK, this is the OnePlus 9 and 9 Pro Android 12 update, well, OxygenOS 12 based on Android 12. Let's check them out. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos on the channel. In front of us is the OnePlus 9 Pro running OxygenOS 11, so still running the current version of Android from OnePlus. On the right, I have the OnePlus 9 running OxygenOS 12, or based on Android 12, so the beta or the alpha release of Android 12 for OnePlus devices. Currently, only the 9 Pro and the 9 are supported. The 9R is not, unfortunately, but hopefully in the near future. In the middle, we have the Pixel 4a. Now, the Pixel 4a is here mostly because this is running the latest update of Android 12 in beta form directly from Google, and we'll see all of the features. I've done a video separately focusing on all of the updates here. I'll link for you guys that in the description below, as well as a card hopefully on the top right. But the reason it's here, it's more of a control. On the right, I installed Android 12. This is the initial release of OxygenOS 12. There is a little bit of an issue with the sliding here with the brightness level, and it keeps playing that on me. But there are some issues here that we're going to cover, and obviously we're going to talk about some of the updates that they did there. The reason why I have the OnePlus 9 here or the 9 Pro, is to show you guys how to be able to go from OxygenOS 11 to the OxygenOS 12 beta or alpha, and then also how to go back from the alpha into a standard, basically Android 11, OxygenOS 11. So the first thing I'll say is that this is OnePlus's initial release. So this is kind of an alpha or a developer preview, but in a beta form because it's beta access to the users that OnePlus is allowing users to be able to download. Now, it is not available through OTA. You do need to sideload this file, and you don't need to unlock your device, but you do need to back it up, as it will reset your smartphone when you update to it. Keeping in mind that this is not intended for the general public usage, it's mostly intended for developers. But if you do have a OnePlus device that is compatible and you want to be able to check it out, this would be the process. Follow the link that I'll give you guys in the description below. Download the build that's available for either the 9 or the 9 Pro. Again, the 9R is not supported. And at the same time, you need to download a couple of additional files. There's the file that takes us back, that's the revert file to Android 11. Download that to the specific model that you have for the region that you're in, as well as the APK for the OnePlus Updater, since that will be the way for us to update locally or update using a local file on OnePlus devices. Once you have that process done, download the file, put it on your device in the root directory. So what you do is open up, this is the OnePlus file manager, download the files and put them in. Now, coincidentally, this is the revert file. You would download the update file on your old device. Keep in mind, it's going to wipe everything. So only update that file and back up all your data off of it. From there, you go into the notification panel, you go into settings, you go all the way down to system. From system, you go to system update. This is the normal OnePlus OxygenOS updater. You click on the little gear on the top right, and typically what you'll find essentially is something like this. You click it and you'll see the update as long as you put it in the root directory of your smartphone. Once you have that on, click it, go through the process of updating, and it will take about 10 to 15 minutes to go through. It is going to wipe your device, it is going to reset the device and take you back on an installation of Android 12. It is not going to take you through the setup process, as this is again a developer preview or beta, so no process of setting up the device as you normally would see when you reset your smartphone. Now, once you do that process, it's pretty straightforward. All you have to do at that point is go ahead and log in with your account. Google Play Service is installed. You do need to install that second APK that I mentioned to you guys, so that would be the the OP local update file. The reason behind that is if you go into the settings tab right now, we go all the way down to system, typically how you would be able to update your system, and you go to system update, you'll notice it's actually reflecting the standard stock Google updater. And this is going to try to ping the Google servers, not OnePlus, and it won't even allow us to do a local update. So make sure to download that APK from the link below and install it right away, and you're pretty much set. The other thing you probably want to do as well is download that revert file for your region. Once you do that, put that again in the same root directory, and then you're pretty much set to revert back once you're ready. The process is very simple the same way. Once you revert back to Android 11, it will reset your smartphone the same way going into it, at least in the current form. So let's just say that. First thing we'll notice on the side is that the wallpaper is a OnePlus wallpaper. Unfortunately, no additional wallpapers were added in here, so I don't have a way of getting them. So if we go to live, it either goes to photos or live wallpapers, and if we go in there, there's not much in there. Now, as far as navigation, we do have support for Android 12 navigation, as well as the button controls. Unfortunately, though, if you do restart your phone, any kind of settings where it comes to gesture navigation kind of goes out the door. So just keep that in mind. The elements overall is pretty much stock. This is, for the most part, I think it's just a standard Pixel launcher or a standard AOSP launcher. It is not the OnePlus launcher. There's none of the customizations that we've seen before. As you see here, you press and hold, you go to home settings. It's pretty much just standard area experience. We have the Google Play Store, generally most of the Google applications installed, settings, YouTube, all of those things. And again, I did have to download the system updater one. Otherwise, that's pretty much the stock experience. Now, some of the things that are left here from OnePlus as part of the experience, you can go here in the notification shade. I can actually change the toggles. You can definitely see that the notification shade toggle or the toggle on the side works perfectly. The camera app also, for the most part, kind of, again, is OnePlus standard camera app minus a few modes. It doesn't actually have all of the modes that we've seen typically in the past, but it does work. You're able to take pictures. You're able to basically just try to take images. Brightness level is very, very finicky, and I'll say this because it doesn't really stay consistent, so there's one of those issues as well. But again, this is a developer preview, not intended to be a perfect installation. So, volume rocker, also we saw this is actually the new volume rocker from Android 12, so it comes in here and it does marry the little bit of customization green colors that we have at the top. The notification shade is not matched to what we have now in the the beta version that we have on Pixel smartphones. So you can definitely see that this is Android 12, but it's slightly a step behind what Pixels are. This is why I keep calling it a developer preview / early beta access. Other than that, when we go into the settings tab, so we'll go into the full settings section, you'll notice that the UI element matches. The icon's a little bit different. You do have dark theme. We don't have the ability of selecting 90 Hertz right now. It's locked to 60 Hertz. We do have dark theme built in. We have Q color to customize some of the color experiences. Other than that, most of the settings are pretty much standard to what you see with Android 12. As you can see here, safety and emergency is installed. It's pretty standard. Password configuration, lock screen, as you saw there, notification, access, all of those things are in there. When it comes to permission manager, we definitely see the options to see all the permission availability here, but we don't have the permission dashboard here. So again, a slightly early version of what we see before. Overall, I did install my SIM card in here and I did test it out with 5G connectivity, although LTE is what shows up. So you're able to put in your SIM card. It does have radio support and it works pretty much the same. And as you see here, model number is LE2110, both SIM cards supported. And again, you're able to get 5G connectivity depending on the carrier that you're using. Google Play services, of course, installed. I was able to install Instagram and Twitter, get those installed and running perfectly fine for me. The one thing I also want to mention to you guys is picture-in-picture also works in here, so I'll give it a second to load up. And what I really like about it is when we go home, it does actually give us the new feature that we've seen in the past, although there's a little bit of a bug here. You'll notice right there, even though the screen is running, sometimes it does this shrinking factor. You're able to pin and zoom and, of course, expand it, close it, duck it, or basically dash it to the right. It does work as well. And of course we can put the video away. The notification or the volume level here is pretty much the same. You're able to switch between the three options there, as well as raise and lower the volume. And again, you can actually also play it with the toggles on the right. The power menu, actually very consistent to what we saw with Android 12, pretty much standard. We have the emergency numbers. If you have Google Pay installed on your phone, it will also pop it up over there. And of course, home controls require the Google Home app installed. Once you have those installed, you're pretty much set. Now let's start talking about desktop mode. One thing that we haven't been able to do since the announcement, the early developer previews of Android 12, specifically for Pixel devices, since we only had OnePlus access since Google I/O, or actually as of late last week, since they brought back the beta access, is that Pixel devices don't allow us to actually project or connect external display connectivity, meaning using an MHL adapter over USB-C to give us access to project the screen onto a display. Pixel devices just don't do that. OnePlus devices do, which is very nice. So for us, all we have to do here is go into System, activate Developer Preview. So you go under About, and then you keep pressing the build number. I think was it 7 times, and it unlocks Developer Preview or Developer Options. Once you're there, you go all the way down to Developer Options at the bottom, and then turn on Force Desktop Mode. Now you can also enable a few of the other options here: force activities to be resized, enable freeform windows, and of course, force allow apps onto external. So all of these will enable us to have a good experience. And once you do that, you can basically connect this to a TV or a display that support, or basically through a cable that supports MHL. So a USB-C to HDMI converting cable, and you'll be able to access desktop mode. For me, I actually ended up using it with a keyboard and mouse and connected it to my setups here so that you guys could see exactly what it looks like. Overall, what you're looking at essentially is the aesthetical look of Android 12 desktop looks pretty much the same as Android 10 and Android 11's desktop modes. Not much has been done as far as uplifting the UI element. We are able to go into the settings section, which essentially is the settings menu directly from the OnePlus device. And then from there, I was able to open up a few applications, resize them, also open up full screen mode to be able to see a video in full screen. So most of these worked fine, although It did have a lot of technical problems getting the mouse pointer to recognize, and the device kept rebooting every once in a while. So overall, what you're looking at there is the initial offering of Android 12 desktop mode as we see it right now on a OnePlus 9, as well as the OnePlus 9 Pro. As you saw there, this experience is pretty much in its early infancy, but at least we have the ability of seeing that desktop mode is still there, and it is actually usable once you have things working into it. So at its basic form, we see that we're able to access the app drawer from there. We're able to open up applications and multiple apps and resize windows. So a lot of things that are very nice. To revert back to Android 11, if you do not want to stay with the beta or the alpha that we have directly from OnePlus, it's a simple process. Download the two files. One would be the Android 11 revert version to your specific device, as I showed you guys with the link, and there'll be one, of course, for you guys in the description below. From there, install the OP Updater app, so that is going to give us the ability of using local update. Once we have that option, select this file, and it is going to reset your phone, so make sure you back up all your content off of this. Once you do that, it will revert you back to Android 11 on your OnePlus 9 and a 9 Pro. And of course, you need to go ahead and set up your device at that point, because that is going to be the full official build. We did not have to unlock our bootloader. We did not have to root anything. These are official builds from OnePlus for OnePlus devices, and it works great. Just keep in mind that there is a slight possibility that it could damage your device, so make sure you back up all your content off of it before you do any of that. The initial release of Android 12 on OnePlus devices had some problems. And what I mean by that essentially is they had the UI element that looked a little bit more like ColorOS, and for some reason it started to break devices. So I'm not sure if it was the wrong version of Android 12 beta that was installed or the problems they were having, but OnePlus did remove that for about a week or so, and they finally re-released it late last week, and that's the version that we're checking out. So the link that I'm sending you today, or the one available in the description, was the one that was released later, not the original one linked through Google's developer site, where if you try to click that link, they keep showing you that the actual link for Android 12 beta has been removed due to basically feedback or issue, or user issue. This actually does work. And as you can see there, it works really nicely on the OnePlus 9. So first and foremost, I will say this is pretty early, not very usable, not a lot of new hints of what Android 12 is going to be bringing to our OxygenOS operating system. So we see basic implementation. The camera app works, the slider options work, the power menu, all of those things work pretty much. Stereo speakers, we have the picture-in-picture. So a lot of Android 12 hints and new features, but it seems like, again, a few versions before the current version that's installed on Pixel devices, namely the UI elements and so on. So I'm hoping to see more update as things come up, and I will try to be putting out videos for every update that comes in. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Android 12 on our OnePlus devices, specifically desktop mode? Are you looking forward to seeing some updates there? Do you want OnePlus to update it to give us more functionality? Something like a DeX for OnePlus devices. I think this is something that would be greatly appreciated by the entire OnePlus community. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the